Well, thanks everyone. I'm Devon. I'm an account manager at Revegy, and I know I probably have about 10 minutes now. So my goal today is just to give a quick high-level overview of who Revegy is and how our customers use Revegy as their source of sales strategy and action for their strategic accounts and strategic opportunities. So with that, we've been in business for about 20 years. We have a lot of experience implementing Revegy for customers of all sizes that you can see below. Large enterprise organizations like Siemens, Comcast, but also really small organizations who are just hoping to understand their complex accounts better. So like I said, we help our customers with that single source of sales strategy and action. We're not trying to replace a CRM or look at those tactical day-to-day tasks, but really taking the information you already have and helping your sellers think critically about their account and about their opportunities. So a little bit more behind that. What we really do is help you understand the people that are involved in your account, their priorities. So what are your customers' priorities? And of course, your own goals internally. And to take that a step further, I'll kind of go into each of these a little bit more. So when we think about strategic account planning, we kind of break it out into these 5 different tool sets within Revegy. One are relationship maps, which is a huge component that a lot of our customers come to us. They don't understand the people they're working with. Their customers are complex organizations with lots of stakeholders. So with Revegy, we can take kind of those different contacts you already have within your CRM, and you're able to really think about who they are to you. Are they a champion within the account? Are they a blocker? Who do you need to improve your relationships with? Who's making those strategic decisions that you need to break into to grow revenue within this account? So being able to visualize this versus just seeing it static within your CRM is huge, and being able to work on this collaboratively, whether you have, an AE on your team or a CSM or other people involved, can really be beneficial. The next piece we think about in the kind of strategic account planning process is the customer strategy. So what are your customers' goals? What are their strategies for the year, for the quarter? And how are you helping your customer reach those goals? I think a lot of the time as sellers, we have that all up here in our head, but we're not really putting it down anywhere. And we're not able to convey that in a meaningful way to our customers. So for me, for my strategic accounts, I, typically meet with them once a quarter for QBR to think more strategically with them. And I'll actually pull up this map that I've created that shows their goals. Maybe that's just things I found online. Maybe it's using AI to help find those different goals. And I present this to them, and then it becomes a collaboration on, okay, maybe those goals don't relate to my team, but here's our goals. And then I can really present what we're doing back to them and how we're helping them reach those goals. So really working with them in partnership versus just being seen as a vendor. The third piece here is the internal action plan. So what are you doing as a seller? What is your plan of action in this account? So basically within Revegy, you're able to create strategic goals for yourself. You can tie tasks back to these goals in your CRM. So you can then start to track the progress on those different goals for yourself, but also management can start to see, okay, what's Devon's plan for growing her strategic account this year? How is she reaching these different goals? For me, we have monthly account reviews at Revegy. So with our strategic customers, I sit down with my leadership team and I pretty much just pull up this overall account plan. And I show them my plan of action and show them the things that I'm doing to reach this specific goal. And then we kind of have that internal collaboration to help me reach that goal as well. White space. So this is really great for, if you have a customer and you're selling multiple different products to them, or maybe working in different regions. With Revegy, what we can do is take the current information, whether that's within your CRM of, closed won opportunities where you're currently selling, closed lost competitor, any other kind of information or data you might have on where you're currently penetrated. We can create a visual for your sales rep to understand where you're currently selling and then where the open opportunity is. So where is that white space? And again, I think a lot of us have these in Excel documents or some kind of chart that isn't the most pleasing to the eye, and the sales rep probably gets really overwhelmed, where we can take that information and put it in a really visually appealing way for that salesperson to digest. And then the last piece here is what we call revenue growth ideas. And what this is, I kind of identify this as a stage 0 opportunity. So as I'm doing my account planning, maybe I'm looking at this white space and I see, okay, I think that I could present this idea to my stakeholders. It's not technically an opportunity yet. I don't want to put it in my pipeline, but I want to still save it and remember it. So you can start to create this hub of ideas that you have. You can actually tie a dollar amount to these ideas. And then once it turns into an opportunity, you can then convert it into an opportunity into Salesforce, into Microsoft Dynamics, whatever CRM you're working with in. So you can really start to see how the strategic account planning is paying off by these different ideas and the revenue you start to generate just from those ideas alone. So all of that, those different tools, and I'm presenting everything that Revegy has. You don't have to use all these different tools. I'd say those first three are key. The people, the why, and then your how. How are you executing against this? But you can see this visual I have here is a circle because the account planning process is always going, right? You can see we have an account planning playbook here. So that's kind of like a guided methodology or how you're doing this specific account plan that you can follow. But then these different things, relationship maps, you're always updating your strategy map. It might stay the same for a year for a customer, but you typically year to year, that's kind of getting shifted or quarter to quarter. And all of these are coming together to create that output, which is your account plan. And again, like I said earlier, I think a lot of teams do this right now in a PowerPoint that sales reps scramble to put together the night before, or they're using it in Excel documents that they do one time and then never look at it again until their boss asks again. This account plan is always living, it's breathing, they can update it. And let's just say I won the lottery tomorrow and left Revegy. Someone can come in, see exactly where I left off, not just from, an everyday call to email, but what was my strategy moving forward and how can I step in and help? So that's how we think about the account planning process. And very similarly on the opportunity side, so now thinking new business, maybe it's within an existing account, but maybe it's also, your hunters that are out there getting warm leads and they're working them through a deal cycle and it's a more strategic sell. We think about the same concepts, just a little bit different. So the first, a guided selling playbook. A lot of, customers come to us and they have a specific sales methodology they use, whether that's MedPick or Challenger. We can basically set up these playbooks to mimic whatever methodology you want, but we can also follow your own sales process. So it gives a seller a guide on exactly what they need to do throughout their sales process. We can stock it with, informational videos. If you guys have training videos, things like that. So not only does it help the seller, but it also helps, your management, sales ops, revenue operations know exactly where someone is in their deal. So not only are you seeing the deal stages that might align with the stages in their CRM, but you can really break those down even further and see exactly where someone is. Maybe they're on the second demo. Maybe they sent the specific follow-up information that you guys do. So it's really that guided process that helps the sellers through their deal cycle. The next piece of the stakeholder or influence map, very similar to the relationship map on the account side, but this we think about the individual opportunity that these stakeholders are involved in. So maybe who's the economic buyer here? Who's the final approver? Who is the decision maker? So just a little bit different terminology that you can have here and just have it related to the opportunity versus the account as a whole. And then on the value map or business case, so on the account side, we call it a strategy map. You're thinking about their overall corporate strategy. On the opportunity side, we're thinking about, okay, why is this customer coming to us? What are the issues they're having? What are their pain points? What are we solving for? And what solution are we presenting back to them? So this is essentially building your business case that you're able to present directly back to your customer to make sure you're staying in line. And then the last few things, we have all kinds of different tools we can set up. Things like opportunity close plans I use often. Like for us at Revegy, we oftentimes work off of an implementation or go live date. So if someone says, okay, we want to have this Revegy go live by January 1st, I can start to put together a plan and work backwards on, okay, when should the MSA be signed? When do we need to have these final implementation calls? And I can put this in a Gantt chart to really get them to make sure we're staying aligned and following the specific timelines and getting the deal signed on time. We can also do things like qualification scorecards, customer value scorecards, MedPick scorecards to help like business development teams or even just like things like customer success teams be able to evaluate and understand their accounts and opportunities better. And very similar to the visual I showed you, just like the account side, we kind of think of this as a process. And then the output here is your opportunity plan. So I said that I have monthly account reviews. Well, I also have weekly deal reviews. So when I'm going through my deal reviews, I just pull up my opportunity plan. I walk through this with my leadership team. It tells a story of my opportunity, who's involved, the why behind it, the next steps. And they're able to have that visibility by just going into, we use Salesforce, so they go into Salesforce, they go into Revegy, and they're able to see all of this right there. I think I killed it on time from going over the last one.
Thank
Any
you so
questions?
much, Devon. Yes, lots of questions. People are loving it. Lots of comments like this is far more organized than how this is normally done. Super useful for QBRs. Bum, bum, bum. Let's go to this question. Some deals take 6 months to 3 years. Are your customers utilizing these throughout?
Yes, for both. And just like when I'm selling Revegy, we go anywhere from a 1 month deal cycle to a 3 year deal cycle. I think it's sometimes for these smaller, the ones that are quicker, you might not need to have that more strategic planning involved. But for these longer, lengthier, larger opportunities, that's when you're probably going to want to pull up Revegy and really start to think strategically behind it. So I don't think it's necessary for every single deal or account you're working on, but really when things become more complex, there's more stakeholders involved. But even for my smaller deals, I maybe use one or two tools. Like I might use just this influencer map and just my opportunity close plan, but I might not need to put together a full value map or use these different qualification scorecards that we have. So we really can scale down or scale up depending on the customer.
Next question. Sounds like it's all customizable. Which methodologies are you seeing more right now in the enterprise?
Yeah. Methodology wise, since we are methodology agnostic, but I'd say we do see MedPick quite a lot, or Medic or MedPick. That's the one I mainly see, but oftentimes these are modified a little bit to fit each organization. But I'd say that's been the most popular.
What's the biggest lever you're moving with this product? Pipeline, close one, renewals, all the above, and why?
Can you repeat that? What was the
Yeah,
first part?
people are curious, what's the biggest lever you're moving with this product? Pipeline, close one, renewals.
All the above. It's great. I mean, so pipeline, our goal here is to help with deal velocity and shorten deal cycles overall. Renewals, a lot of different teams work with us. I think a lot of customers come to us focused on more of the sales side, new business, growing accounts, but we do work with a lot of customer success team and renewals as well, because they're all working together to ultimately get to that renewal. So I think it can work for all those different use cases.
Super cool. And lots of comments here. Can you elaborate more on the action plan? What the action plan might look like? Is there access? Is that like access new stakeholders, provide new products?
Yeah, so typically, our action plan is your own internal goals. So really what it is kind of thinking like for me, I have 3 goals for my strategic accounts. One is a revenue-based goal. What's my goal, revenue that I'm trying to achieve from this account? And then I have different strategies I put under that and tasks that'll help me reach that goal. My second is a relationship development goal. So looking at my relationship map, I might see that, we maybe have a negative relationship or no relationship with a CTO. That's something I'm going to focus on this quarter, whether that's, leveraging another person that I know within the organization to get me that meeting. And my third goal is customer success oriented. So what is additional value I can bring to the customer? So we kind of lay it out that way internally at Revegy. And then based on those, that's how I'm being tracked by my management team and looking back at that.
And let's just wrap it up with some customer stories.
Yeah. One big one, a big organization we work with right now is Siemens. They are leveraging us all across different regions for their sales team. Mainly white space is what they're using us for. So one organization, they sell a lot of different products to a lot of different regions. So they're required to update this with the goal of selling multiple products and not just focus on one product. So they have to update their white space, I think once a month, and show the action that they're taking to sell their other products. They're also working with us. So mainly they came to us for sellers. They're now expanding to their customer success teams and also their renewal teams. but also it's important for all of their service delivery team members to be able to have visibility across this. So they're not necessarily editing the account plans or opportunity plans, but they're still being able to see what's going on and what's to be expected in the pipeline before they deliver the service. So it's a really good customer story on multiple departments working together and collaboration there, and also expanding their portfolio of products.
Thank you so much, Devon. Justin, did you receive any questions or do you have any?
I guess it would just be like there's compatibility with all different CRMs. Does this work inside Salesforce and HubSpot and Dynamics, or is it just Dynamics and Salesforce?
Primarily, right now, we have full integration with Salesforce and Dynamics. We don't have integration with HubSpot right now, but those are always things that we're open to exploring.
Nice. Yeah, really useful. What's the difference between like the manager view and the rep view, and like what are the different use cases there?
Yeah, really, when it comes to views, we have what we call like insights, dashboards, and different reporting. So for managers, their key area would probably be like an insights dashboard where they're able to see different things like completion. We're not trying to make this a compliance tool, right? There's a lot of value behind it, but they would probably want to see when things were last updated, key contacts, things changing, important things that are changing within the account or opportunity. So they just have, we can configure different views based on their needs there. Whereas the sales reps are really getting into these different tools and building out those maps and thinking critically about it. But we do have a full standalone platform as well. So if there's, you don't have to even have a CRM if you want to use Revegy. And there's a lot of great things coming up on the roadmap and incorporating AI. I mentioned like the customer strategy. It'd be great to have that all generated from AI, just from what's already out there on the internet. So there's a lot of cool things that we're working on right now to pull that in. We're taking a lot of customer feedback to incorporate that and make it a lot easier for that sales rep to build a strategy too.
Cool. So where do people go to test drive this thing? Or, we don't want to encourage pilots necessarily, but if they want to learn more, do they contact you? Like, how does this normally roll out?
Yeah, absolutely. If they want to learn more, contact me. We absolutely do trials. A lot of, people want to see a pilot of some kind. So our website, you can submit a demo request or you can reach out to me directly. And we can go from there and discuss your needs further.